Yo, what's up, yo? This is Killer Priest, and I'm representing right now for Kofi Universe. That universe is the universe you should be in.
YouTube salute. So Snoop Dogg was asked which coast had a bigger impact on hip hop, East or West. Let's talk about it. If you're new to my channel, thumbs up the video. Hit that sub button, click that bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. Listen to this audio.
A bigger impact on hip hop. I want both of you. Coast or West Coast?
Definitely has the biggest impact. Where was Bella is always gonna be the biggest impact because that's the epicenter, that's the foundation, that's where I'm not throwing no shade. I love the West. It did start with the East Coast, and obviously somebody had to say yes.
All right, so you heard Snoop Dogg. He was on First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Molly. She asked both of them, but Snoop, like he said, it has the biggest impact where it was born, where it was growth, where it was cultivated. And we all know this. I mean, think about the legends that came out on the East Coast in the 80s. We had Run DMC, LL Cool J, Grandmaster Flash, EPMD at that time, Public Enemy, Eric B. and Rakim. This is all 80s. Boogie Down Productions, Biz Markie, Slick Rick. The list goes on and on and on. In the 80s on the West Coast, you had what? NWA, Ice-T, Too Short, DOC was around that time because of the NWA, excuse me. You had DJ Quick was on the underground circuit, but still he was making moves out there. I mean, some people can say this is a biased question to whoever's going to answer it, and some people can be unbiased. You see what I'm saying? So with me, it's like I feel like the West Coast, and I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I feel like the West Coast had times where they had the biggest impact in hip hop and rap. Like when Dr. Dre came out with The Chronic, when Snoop Dogg came out with Doggy Style, when NWA, Ice Cube going solo, E40, I'm just saying you had Digital Underground. They had a huge impact. East Coast, I feel like there's a certain type of substance. I mean, I feel like both coasts gave great messages, but I feel like in the East Coast, it was more they kept the lyrical prowess. They kept that going. Not to say the West Coast didn't, because there was a lot of groups that was overshadowed by gangster rap. Like we talk about the Far Side, Souls of Mischief, the Alcoholics. Look at King T. That's another prominent name from the West Coast. But if we really talking about, what was going on in the 90s, we got Wu-Tang now. We got what? Mobb Deep, Biggie Smalls, Redman, coming from the his squad camp at that time. Black Moon, Special Ed, Craig Mack, Leaders of the New School, A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul. You see what I'm saying? Buster Rhymes. The list goes on and on and on. It's like, damn, Cool G Rap. Think about that. He was with DJ Polo and Cool G Rap, but he went solo. But I'm saying, like, all these things, you had Fat Joe was making his rounds too. In the West Coast of the 90s, well, we had Dog Pound. Corrupt was a lyrical general. Like I said, we had the Alcoholics. We had Razzcast, Saphir, Exhibit coming on at that time. More artists, I just can't think offhand because when you're trying to make the comparisons, but I feel like every artist had their impact in hip hop. But as far as a coast, you know, East Coast, man, they might have not sold the records like Death Row Conglomerate, but their impact as far as like what they have done in hip hop will always remain. Then in what 90s, you had what? Cannabis coming out. Okay, you had DMX. He made a crazy impact in hip hop. Jay-Z. Look what Jay-Z has done. You know, I feel After that, in the 2000s, 50 Cent, once again, here he comes. Get Rich or Die Trying. The G Unit movement, you know, State Property, Benny Siegel. West Coast in the 2000s, we had The Game. The Game we had a buzz coming out with the documentary. You got to give him that. You got to give him that. In the late 20, excuse me, the late 2000s, early 2010s, Kendrick Lamar, he hits the scene as far as, rising from the underground. He took off and ran with that, so we got to give him that, as far as that. Do we consider Drake East Coast or international? That's a good question. J.Cole, he's down south because that's the Carolinas. That's all I can say. But like I said, West Coast, they've always been right there. We can't take no shade, but I feel like the East Coast, their impact in hip hop, everything they have done has been monumental. But I want to hear from you. Who's had the biggest impact? And y'all let me know. Post your comments below. Oak Smash, Black Panther, the like button, subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. If you want to support and donate to the channel, I have Patreon on patreon.com/KofiUniverse. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Streamlabs, everything's in the description. Until next time, salute.